Okay, so today we have Tom Waits, Hope I Don't Fall in Love with You. Now, this is the longer version, I want to say, off the top. This is 5 minutes. I did see one that was less than 4 minutes, so just to let you know, if there's a difference, there it is. Anyway, because I've run into that thing, kind of a thing before, and people complain and stuff. But anyway, yeah, so off the top, there it is. Anyway, Tom Waits came up after I listened to a Nick Cave song, and I thought I've heard of Tom Waits. I've heard many people talking about him and how influential he's been on other writers or whatever. So yeah, I wanted to listen to him, see what's going on, and yeah, so here we are. Let's go. 5 minute listen. First time listening to Tom Waits. Let's go. Gentle guitar playing.
Well, I hope that I don't fall in love with you.
Jeez.
'Cause falling in love just makes me blue. Well, the music plays and you display your heart for me to see. I had a beer and now I hear you calling out for me. And I hope that I don't fall in love with you. Well, the room is crowded, there's people everywhere. And I wonder, should I offer you a chair? Well, if you sit down with this old clown, I'll take that frown and break it. Before the evening's gone away, I think that we can make it. And I hope that I don't fall in love with you.
So soothing. Man.
Well, I can see that you are lonesome just like me. And it being late, you'd like some company. Well, now I've had two. I look at you and you look back at me. The guy you're with, he's up and split. The chair next to you's free. And I hope that you don't fall in love with me. Na na na. And I hope that I don't fall in love with you. Well, the night does funny things inside a man. These old tomcat feelings you don't understand. Well, I turn around to look at you. You light a cigarette. I wish I had the guts to bum one, but we've never met. And I hope that I don't fall in love with you. And now it's closing time. The music's fading out. last call for drinks, I'll have another stout.
Why not?
I turn around to look at you, you know where to be found. I search the place for your lost face, guess I'll have another round. And I think that I just fell in love with you.
All right. Hope I Don't Fall in Love with You by Tom Waits. So I mean, what do I say off the start here? Obviously, very melancholic. Very, I mean, I guess you would say it's a sad song. Somber tone, obviously with Tom's voice, and I mean, obviously I just love the story like he told. I just love how it's like, yeah, it's just like it's a story being told, obviously, and just about, I guess, a woman, you would say, and yeah, just how from the start to the end, I was kind of captivated with every word he was saying. What's going to happen next, and anyway, I would say, obviously, I would say that the only instrument really there was his acoustic guitar. I am on the album here, Closing Time, which I like how the name of the album is Closing Time, and he talks about the closing time at the end of the song. And anyway, Tom Waits, it says, obviously musicians on the album, it says he played vocals, piano, guitar, harpsichord, and others. But anyway, on this one, I think there was basically only the guitar. I can't find the personnel just for the song, but this is for the whole album. Anyway, so yeah, I just really like, how usually it's like, I hope I fall in love with you, or whatever. I hope even, that she falls in love with me, or he falls in love with me, whatever. And but here it's just like, I hope you don't fall in love with me. I hope I don't fall in love with you. I don't need that pain. I don't need all that, so obviously, he's coming in here, at least the narrator, whether this happened to Tom or not, whether this is just, him talking, whatever. Obviously this person, has been hurt before. This person doesn't want to, feel the pain. It's just like, I really hope I don't fall in love. So anyway, just going through some verses here. I am on genius.com. There are some annotations. I do know that the song is, I guess, pretty popular, so I guess people are going to annotate the lyrics and just say their thoughts. Anyway, so yeah, from the first verse, well, I hope that I don't fall in love with you, because falling in love just makes me blue. And I mean, so yeah, right off the top, I mean, the first two lines, it's just like, this guy is just like, I guess he's had people leave him before. That it's just like, the whole opposite of what people feel. Is just like, falling in love just makes me blue. Usually it makes people feel happy, but not here. It's just, which I love, the play on that, the opposition to that. Well, the music plays and you display your heart for me to see. I had a beer and now I hear you calling out for me, and I hope that I don't fall in love with you. So it says here on an annotation, setting the scene, our narrator sees a beautiful woman who is showing herself to him emotionally, perhaps by singing. He's been drinking, so his guard is lower than usual, but he didn't expect to meet someone he'd become so enamored with. So obviously, yeah, he went out on this, to a bar. I guess you would say it was a bar, probably. And he didn't imagine that this would take place, and obviously, like I already said, he doesn't really want this to take place. He doesn't want to fall in love. And then we have the second verse. Well, the room is crowded, people everywhere. The normal scene. And I wonder, should I offer you a chair? Well, if you sit down with this old clown, I like that he calls himself an old clown. It's just, again, there's that kind of self-deprecation that he has. I'll take that frown and break it before the evening's gone away. I think that we can make it, and I hope that I don't fall in love with you. And I just like how he finishes that verse with I hope I don't fall in love with you. So there's an annotation here. The woman appears unhappy, and the narrator feels compelled to cheer her up. Obviously, like you said, break that frown, turn that frown upside down. It could be that he is rehearsing what he's going to say and is building up himself, convincing himself that this stranger, he's afraid to approach, that he should approach her. And then we go on with the third verse. There's 5 verses here. I did see also, I wanted to just say that in this here, which is the shorter version, I guess, for lyrics, it did miss one of the verses, which was him talking about, I light a cigarette, that verse there. So I did see that that verse was not in the shorter version. So I guess that might be the difference between the longer and the shorter ones. But again, I just wanted to listen to the longer one, I guess, just to get the full idea. Anyway, again, going into the third verse. Well, a night does funny things inside a man. These old tomcat feelings you don't understand. So again, just talking about the feelings this does to a man. I'm an old tomcat. I have these old feelings you don't understand. I mean, obviously, this guy is not, I guess you wouldn't say he's the most confident fella, not, around. But anyway, again, there's an annotation here. So it says, this line has sexual overtones, as tomcats are known for their fertility and mating rituals, which are often unpleasant for the female. This is a misconception that the female cat screeches because it is being held down and bitten, when in reality it's because the male cat, okay, so then it goes on about, its penis and all this stuff. That's great. By comparing himself to a tomcat, Waits is essentially saying that his love is toxic and harmful for the women he falls in love with. Similar sentiments have been expressed on many different songs, which, it goes on to say many songs. He's just like, yeah. But yeah, I like, talking about tomcats there again. I just like how he's kind of comparing himself, saying he's an old clown, I'm a tomcat. And then he goes on here. I like, this was an interesting part here. The guy you're with, he's up and split. The chair next to you is free, and I hope that you don't fall in love with me. So it says, I guess the guy you're with, he's gone. I didn't know where. I don't know what happened there. Maybe, he just left and went to the bathroom. Maybe he left there after an argument, whatever. I guess we don't really know. But then, I like how it changes from, I hope that I don't fall in love with you to I hope that you don't fall in love with me. So it's like kind of already saying like he's kind of fallen in love with her. So it's like, now that I'm falling in love with you, I hope that you haven't fallen in love with me. And then anyway, the last verse here, the fifth verse on this, on Genius anyway. Now it's closing time. The music's fading out. Last call for drinks. I'll have another stout. While I turn around to look at you, you're nowhere to be found. I searched the place for your lost face. Guess I'll have another round. And I think that I just fell in love with you. So yeah, I just love that ending, the ending line. It says so much, and I think that I just fell in love with you, just, by how the title says, I hope that I don't fall in love with you, and then how it ends, you're like, yeah, I did. I fell in love. But for the last annotation here, most love stories end happily, but our narrator isn't living in a fantasy. The woman's disappeared, and our narrator has fallen in love and had his heart broken in a matter of hours. And then goes on to say, Closing Time is also the album name, and this song appeared on that album as well. And again, I guess how it talked about with this person was trying to get his attention, I guess, when earlier there in an annotation when it said it seems like she was singing or something, trying to get his attention anyway. But either way, they didn't really, I guess, talk to each other ever. They didn't really communicate at all. And then like how he finally, wants to turn around and look at her, and then she's gone. And it's like, it was just like they never really even interacted, face to face, with words, and how already in his mind, he already fell in love. And it's just like, yeah, it's a great story, and a sad little story that I'm sure has happened to many people. And yeah, just like the whole, and then just how he says that, after that, you're nowhere to be found. I have lost your face. I guess I'll have another round. It's just like, bury my sorrows in another drink. And yeah, it's just, and I do know that Tom has talked about alcohol and stuff before. And I've seen quotes from him. Many people have quoted. There was one. It was like something about drugs. It's like people who face reality. I gotta get it right. Hold on. When he says reality is for people who can't face drugs. I mean, yeah, this guy has a way with words. I can already see. And I also looked up like his alcohol, whatever, Tom Waits alcohol. That's what I Googled. And all it really came up was that he said he was like a partial alcoholic, and that he has, I guess, given up alcohol. I don't know when this, article was from, but I know that he's older now, so maybe he has or whatever. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, it's just, I get a feeling, kind of a mysterious feeling from Tom Waits. And really, I didn't really touch, but his voice, I gotta say, his voice is obviously very deep, very, like, you could tell that he's been through some stuff. You could tell that he's been through some shit, and his voice is just kind of battered, maybe not like old. He doesn't sound like an old, grandfather or whatever, but his voice is just kind of battered, kind of guttural, and just really adds to the story. And I really enjoyed it. Anyway, I guess that's about it. So yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for liking, subscribing, commenting. And I also have to say, for some reason, he, like, just looking at Tom, he kind of reminds me of, like, what's his name? Scott Weiland of the Stone Temple Pilots, or his other band there, which I can't remember, which I will insert after this video. But yeah, I don't know why, but maybe his facial looks just reminds me of Scott Weiland. And anyway, rest in peace to Scott. Anyway, that's just what came to my head. And anyway, yeah, so yeah, again, thanks for watching. Very long video again. Sorry about that. But I will talk to you guys again soon.